Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I want to get your thoughts first and foremost. Chelsea holding talks with the Lille striker Jonathan David. You know, he's been prolific in Liga. That can't be denied. What are you here to say, Hassan?
That was a clown.
Oh my God. Hey. Isn't this beautiful, Dio? Isn't this just such a beautiful day? Such a beautiful 24 hours. The only bad thing about today is the fact that KDB scored. Other than that, man, this is a good day. Chelsea are finished, to put it simply. You know, the Chelsea they all grew up watching. The Chelsea they all grew up, you know, just kind of looking out for is now dead. It's as simple as that. There is no other way to put it. It's just the reality of the situation. Jonathan David. Wasn't he like the big deal in football like 3 years ago? Wasn't he like the shit like 3 years ago? You know, and now all of a sudden they're back in for him. Listen, at the end of the day, the direction that Chelsea in is just laughable. And Terry said one possibility. It's two possibilities for me. It's either they can't afford their wages or these clubs are not convinced by your project. Whichever one you answer, both are shit answers for your football club. It's as simple as that. There is no positive scenario. Both scenarios are negative scenarios. It's just how it's literally both negative scenarios. And I feel so happy that there are actual Chelsea fans waking up to the reality of their football club over the last 24 hours. There are some still selling copium. Dio knows exactly the types I'm talking about. You know exactly the types I'm talking about, Terry. There are still some of them who are selling copium, some who aren't looking at the reality of the situation. But my point is the following. In order for Chelsea to make the next step, it's not just signing experienced players. It's signing experienced players who are actually good. This is a very important caveat. Because today, apparently, according to people, they think they should sign the likes of Chris Wood just because it's experienced. No, I never said that. I'm saying sign experienced players who are actually good. Like actual experience with good, which is Olise, Guehi, players like that. Now, even someone who's like the next big thing in football will demand a certain level of wages. That's why Nico Williams isn't a thing. I mean, he already earns 200 grand a week at Bilbao now anyway. Like he's not going to come to Chelsea and earn less money. That's never going to be a thing. So you look at the situation at Chelsea, all the financial decisions that they have made, everything that their club is doing right now. And I'm sorry to say this because someone has to tell the Chelsea fans the truth. This is looking like Brighton 2.0. I'm not even lying. It's literally Brighton, but like at a higher level. Like Brighton, sell model, buy young, buy youth. Here's the thing with the likes of Estevao and Paez and even Jonathan David and Duran and whoever they're linked with. None of them are the players that will hit the ground running. Dio needs a midfielder. There's a difference between Arsenal signing Kimmich, Arsenal even signing a Zubimendi versus Arsenal signing Estevao from Brazil. The third one, you don't even know if he's going to start. You don't even know if he's going to play. Someone might tell me, speak about the likes of, a Lamine Yamal or a Gavi or a Pedri or a Vinicius. Yeah, that's possible. But even Vinicius needed 3 years. Now, the difference between Chelsea and Real Madrid is Madrid at the time, with Camavinga and Tchouaméni, kept the likes of Modric, kept the likes of Kroos, kept the likes of Benzema. And when Vinny was ready to take the next step, and when Tchouaméni is ready to take the next step, and all these players are ready to make the next step, that's when you get rid of the experienced players. That's when you move on to the next phase. Now, the problem is with Chelsea right now, is the situation is looking very scary because Olise this isn't new. The football Terrace talking about Olise, they were talking about Olise last summer. Terry was asking about Olise on the football Terrace on Straight Fact shows that I was doing last summer. And a year later, they're unable to get him. And you're telling me the reason's wages? I don't know if that's to make Chelsea look good or look bad. And the other thing is now, this model that they're headed for, I think Terry now needs to take a stance. Any Chelsea fan that comes on the football Terrace and talks about top four, talks about winning trophies, talks about, taking the next step, Terry just need to slap him in the face or remove him from the stream because there is no other solution at this point because it's just pure delusion. I'm so sorry.
So do you know what you said there about the wages at the end? I think the proof's going to be in the pudding. So the Chelsea fans are hugely divided online. And I hear the arguments on all ends. Does that make sense? Ches came on last night and said, I don't think it is the money. I think it's the player just said no to us. And I respect the honesty of that you just saying somebody rejected you. But then you see the story today that they've pulled away from the Nico Williams conversation because the wages are too high. The players they're looking to sign are not going to be Jonathan David is not going to be demanding over £200,000 a week. I don't think he's of that level. You look at this young Kellerman that's coming in now. That's just, again, there's two sides to that deal. It's either a PSR stunt, which, by the way, most of the clubs that are on that list of PSR troubles are sort of doing exchanges with each other, or you genuinely believe in him. And if you are believing in him, then again, you're not going to be paying him huge wages. I then look at it and go, well, that seems more about money than pull. I don't think Chelsea have lost their pull. Now, that doesn't mean they won't get rejected by a player, because all teams get rejected. Real Madrid, Liverpool, Man United, all in our pomp, have been rejected by players. But I don't see there being this walking away this early in deals. That seems more to me like they are taking a stance as a club to not bring people in on that kind of money. Now, it remains to be seen whether or not, if Enzo kills it, if Caicedo kills it, if Madueke gets to the level and then says, right, look, I'm the best winger in the league. All the other wingers of my level and below are earning 250, 300, 350, 400K. I want the same. If Chelsea then turn around to them, because what a lot of Chelsea fans say is we're just not going to pay new players that money, but we'll reward people with that money when they deserve it. I'm intrigued, and this is, again, I'm just intrigued to see whether that's true. We're not going to get the answers now, though. We're only going to get the answers if these players that are on 100.
Can I ask you a question, Terry? Because I need to ask you something. Dio, sorry, I know you want to speak about this, but I have to ask Terry this, because Terry is someone who's fair about all football clubs. He has agendas every now and then. He has banter every now and then. But to most part, he always has an objective conversation. Terry, what's the end game? This is genuine. I just want someone to answer that. What's the end game?
And bro, that's where, and some Chelsea fans won't appreciate me saying this. And if Arsenal fans that have watched the Football Terrace long enough go back to when I started Fan Park Live, and I was working with UFF and AFTV, and I remember Fan Park Live used to go out on like 7 or 8 different channels simultaneously at the same time. And I got into rows of Arsenal fans. Well, like, Terry, why do you care so much about us moving on Wenger and improving our club? I said, because I don't like all of our clubs in England are built by the working class man and woman and local communities. And I love the fact that we've gone global and people from all around the world, you two are prime examples, enjoy our sport and enjoy our culture. And I think most cultures enjoy other people enjoying their culture. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I go online and I show people I'm eating a bowl of jollof rice from Nigeria, Nigerians would love that. Do you know what I mean? It's like people like their culture being shared, right? So I do care about how other football clubs are run, because it's an important part of my country, and I care about it, right? So the end game, I don't know. The end game is, some Chelsea fans don't think they're going to try and flip all these players and sell them on and keep the wages low and make it a profitable business and sell it. Something they're genuinely trying to make success. I don't know what the end game is. But I'm concerned because there's a comment here that says you guys are speculating on half information. I understand your opinion. We are talking about what Chelsea are saying. Chelsea have briefed the press saying they have a wage cap of 150. Chelsea have breached the press saying, generally speaking, we're only signing players under 25. Chelsea Football Club have briefed the press twice in 24 hours saying they are not prepared to pay the wages of Nico Williams and Elise. But all season, Chelsea fans and rivals alike have said players of their ability and above are needed. So the problem is, if you're not signing that ability or above because you don't want to pay the wages, I worry for Chelsea genuinely getting better. I really worry.
Nothing you've said is positive. That's the funny part. Nothing
I've said is what?
Nothing that you've said. The report
because right now, listen, I'll be honest with Chelsea fans, and we're going to go to Dio. Man United are on the beginning of a new rebuild, and I've put trust in what they're going to do. And I look at the players we're trying to sign right now, and one of them is Branthwaite. And Branthwaite is a player that now he's linked to Man United. Some people will have a problem, but a lot of people rate him. He's someone that universally, there is a lot of consensus that he could be a top-class centre-back. And I agree with that particular take. If we were going out there and we were buying players that were hyped up 3 or 4 years ago and never got to the next level, or were buying untried and tested youngsters from other Premier League clubs, or negotiating for players like Duran, I would be absolutely panicking about what we were trying to do. I don't mind buying young, but it has to be players that you genuinely believe can flourish. I like the fact that we're going to be lowering our wage bill. But if it ever comes out that we're not going to pay 300, 400 grand a week ever again, I'm panicking, because at some point you're going to have to. At some stage, you're going to have to. And that's my concern for Chelsea, is a lot of what the media briefings that they've stated are kind of happening. And they need experience and or high quality players to get back to the Champions League, to keep improving so they can win major trophies again. If they don't do that this summer, and I think Jonathan David is exponentially better than Duran, 100%. But is he going to be good enough to make Chelsea Champions League contenders, Premier League winners again? I don't think so.